Before GPS, maps, or even compasses, people were able to cross huge oceans by using their senses and memory. One of the most skilled groups of early explorers were the Polynesians. They traveled across the Pacific Ocean, the largest ocean on Earth, long before Europeans began exploring it. Their journeys stretched from Hawaii in the north to New Zealand in the south and Rapa Nui, Easter Island, in the east. They didn't guess their way. They used a traditional and well-developed navigation system that didn't rely on writing or tools. Instead, they used knowledge passed down through generations and a strong understanding of nature. Polynesian navigation depended on close observation of the environment. Navigators memorized where different stars rose and set throughout the year. They studied the ocean's waves, watching their direction, size, and rhythm to figure out if land was nearby. They watched the flight of seabirds, especially those that went out in the morning and returned to land in the evening. They also looked at clouds, the color of the water, and even smelled the air for clues. To people unfamiliar with this, it might seem mysterious, but it was actually a practical and detailed method, learned through years of training and experience. Polynesian navigators didn't use written maps, but instead relied on memory to find their way. They learned travel routes, star paths, and ocean patterns through songs, chants, and rituals. These were not just cultural traditions, they were navigation tools. In nearby Micronesia, a similar method called e-talk was developed. Navigators imagined their canoe as standing still while islands moved past on the horizon. Although this system is not Polynesian, it shows how advanced and diverse oceanic navigation was across the Pacific. In both regions, mental maps were detailed and precise, built over years of training and experience. Polynesians built strong, double-hulled canoes for long ocean trips. They didn't use nails, just coconut fiber ropes and carefully shaped wood. Voyaging was not done alone. It involved many people and was an important part of their culture, including ceremonies and teamwork. They traveled not just to explore, but also to trade, build communities, and stay connected to their heritage across the ocean. When colonial powers arrived in the Pacific, traditional navigation began to disappear. Missionaries and governments often banned it, calling it outdated or even pagan because it involved chants, rituals, and spiritual practices. The oral tradition, knowledge passed from teacher to student, started to fade. Some of the last skilled Polynesian navigators died without passing on what they knew. But the knowledge wasn't completely lost. In the 1970s, people in Hawaii began working to revive it. A group of community leaders and scholars built Hōkūleʻa, a voyaging canoe, based on traditional Polynesian design. Since few Polynesian navigators with full knowledge remained, they turned to Maupiailug, a master navigator from the Micronesian island of Satawal, where traditional wayfinding had survived. Using no modern instruments, he successfully guided the canoe from Hawaii to Tahiti. The voyage became a turning point. It sparked a cultural renewal and helped bring back a nearly lost art of Polynesian navigation.